Forgive me if I turn around and look at the slides a lot. I don't want to repeat that Lincoln assassination faux pas there. Today I want to share some exciting discoveries in the field of palindromics. As you've heard, I was the first world's palindrome champion. After that, I went into the private sector and worked to commercialize this important technology. And I want to share some discoveries we've made with a startup company we're doing that may provide an important investment opportunity for some of you if you're farsighted and forward-thinking enough. This is a technology that can bring joy to you and your family, as well as provide help to the American economy and defense establishment, as we're going to establish here. What is a palindrome, you ask? It's a sentence or phrase that is the same backwards and forwards, as you see here. An igloo, cool, Gina. A little bit about my background. If you're thinking about investing in our company, you're going to want to know, who are you, Mark? Where have you been trained or gained this expertise? That is a totally fair question. I studied at Harvard, not the famous one in Boston, but Harvard State, which is located in eastern Massachusetts. It's the world's first land-grant university. There I did some early research in the Zimbabwean binary antelope, which, as you can see, is the world's first and best-known palindromic animal. I went then to study under the great Professor John Conant at the University of Minnesota, who, as you see, grabbed a team of research assistants who were naturally suited to palindromes. And he made the exciting discovery that a palindrome, the word of any word, not only palindromes, is actually a unit of energy, smaller than a quark, but with power equal to 17,000 times that of a proton. You can see the relative size of each of these items. And he came up with some extremely powerful sentences that were, of course, all palindromes. For example, I am proud to say I was on the team that developed the first one here, asking the important question, Eva, can I stack Rod's sad-ass dork cats in a cave? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. So we have taken this technology and we're trying to commercialize it into a viable private company, combining the power of palindromics, science, and genetics into a company that we call Cynogenics. Founded in 2015, we now have 272 employees in 4 states, and we're looking to go public on September 10th of this year. Before we go into that, I want to give a little background on the history of palindromes and their power throughout history. The first palindrome known to man is the word spoken to Moses, quote unquote, from God in the burning bush, which is Ahyeh Asher Ahyeh, a word unit palindrome in Hebrew. We translate it as I am who I am, but you can hear the power right there. That doesn't quite translate into English, so by doing some more research, I found perhaps a more fitting translation into our language, which is dogma, I am God. Thank you. Or, more controversially, dog sex, even if fine, vexes God. This is Portland, after all. From then, we went into in Egypt, the Greek magical papyri, where people wielded the power of palindromes for evil curses and healing spells, such as the famous Ablathanalba, which was later transformed into the word we know, abracadabra, and then ruined by Steve Miller in a shitty song. Yeah, so I've already said that stuff. Okay. Stone IPA, in case anybody forgot what I'm drinking here. Thank you. In the Middle Ages, during the time of Charlemagne, monks and other holy men tried to use this to explore the power of God, such as Bishop Rabanus Maurus in 800 AD. He did these amazing grids of letters, and then he would draw shapes and the letters that fell inside the shapes would spell out different words. This is him worshiping the palindrome that he wrote here. And if you zoom in, you can see that it says, "Go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hog." However, even though people were trying to wield this for the glory of God, it became entangled with darker forces and satanic spells. This is St. Martin of Tours, who was sort of an army saint, if you can imagine, a warrior who attacked pagan temples and actually used palindromes to command Satan himself to ferry him to Rome like an early airline or jetpack or something, using these palindromes: Signa te signa, temere me tangus et angus, Roma tibi subitu motibus ibit amor. Today, however, in this secular time, the only people who still understand the power of palindromes are heavy metal bands, such as Black Sabbath on their classic live EP, Live Evil, or Soundgarden and their EP, Satan Oscillate My Metallic Sonatas. Okay, let's go to the science behind palindromes. Why does this work, Mark? Why should we invest money in your company? Excellent question. This is a way to amplify the awesome energy of words. I don't know what happened there. Okay, look at a standard sentence: I like to run in apples. Palindromes, just to start off, you can see how you double the power of those words by going backwards, right? As in this example, Snub Dumbo Bob, mud buns. If we actually have done the scientific measurements of the power of these words, the standard sentence, I like to run in apples, 1.4 million electron volts. Snub Dumbo Bob's, surprisingly, is way more than double that amount. It's not 2.8 million electron volts, it's 19.7. What is going on? Well, it turns out this uses the force of the gravitational slingshot, which you may remember was used to propel a satellite towards Jupiter. If you come close enough to a power, the force can propel you out into space. In this case, because you go around the sentence, which is a highly massive object at the end of a sentence, it amplifies the force and sends you back at this much higher rate of acceleration. Furthermore, the waves of energy align and amplify each other, as you can see in this diagram, further magnifying. If you know the resonance, if you've had like a resonant frequency, if you're an engineer, it can really shake and disrupt things. The palindromic resonance, because it aligns, becomes extremely powerful. We don't have time to go into all these numbers here, but we can talk about it later. You may remember the most famous example of this, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. You probably saw this video in grade school. What happened was they built a bridge up near Tacoma across a narrow path, and when the wind blew, nobody realized that it made the sound ooh, which is a palindrome. So what happened was, see if we get this there, the wind started blowing, and that is an actual concrete and metal bridge that started wielding and then completely blew up. So, of course, I looked at that and said, awesome, blow shit up, let's make some money off of this. So, here are some applications. Our early research was not military and defense oriented. We went into music criticism with Oh Nikki Sixx is Icky, no. And you'll notice they broke up immediately afterwards, Motley Crue. Blasphemy, Yahweh Chew Hey. American church attendance is down to its lowest level in history. And then finally, you may remember when meth was a scourge in the early 2000s. We got a contract with the Department of Drug Eradication and developed this palindrome, deep snuff. Oh, Margaret, fast? No. Sexy? No. Dye put stupid onyxes on hats after a gram of fun speed. And as you all know, meth use dropped precipitously everywhere in America except Troutdale. So after these early successes, we got a contract with the Department of Research Projects Administration, and got some money from the federal government to develop weaponry uses of this technology. Here's some early tactical palindromes. Drat, suck custard. Sit on a potato pan, Otis. And Dr. Annie's Pale Pacific Ape laps in Nard. Since then, we got some initial venture capital, and we've been developing a new generation of potent strategic palindromes. Drat's a bad nag and a bastard. On I blab, mud dumb albino. And Dennis, Kaya, and Edna, a yak, sinned. Our biggest demonstration of concept took place early in the Obama administration, focused on Osama bin Laden. Now, the cover story is that a SEAL team went out and raided him. But what really happened is we developed a palindrome of weaponry based on Islamic scripture and targeted him with, we tried several. We went Guru Man, Osama's on emu rug, not that powerful. Ed under a deli, Osama soiled a red nude. Starting to get there. And then we came up with this one. Eid Osama, so die. We got authorization to outfit an F-26 stealth fighter jet and attacked Osama's compound. This has been hushed up. You guys haven't been able to see this shot before, and you can see them strafing the compound with the result that we all know about. So, the power of palindromy wielded towards weapons as well as political advertising and drug education. This is the future of our company. This is what we are asking you to give us money to fund for our IPO that's coming out in September, and we hope you will consider this as a way to make gobs of money. Thank you very much.